All right, so just to let y'all know, it is recording now. This is a 4-week program. Of course, our first week is going to be about your introduction. So I'm going to walk you through basically what tax preparation is. You have a couple of quizzes that are also inside of here. So we're going to go through the second, which is today, all the way to the 23rd. If you cannot make it for Father's Day, I will let that be a pass because it is Father's Day. Me personally, I don't celebrate it, so I'll be on here. But if you let me know ahead of time, I'm cool with it, and I'll just send you the recording later on. But just don't wait until the last minute to let me know something. That's all I'm asking. All right. So of course, welcome to week one. All right. This is our agenda. Today we're going to override. We're going to do an overview on the tax preparation process, understanding the difference between federal, state, and local, go over some terminology. Also, like I said, I'm going to be reading a couple of things off to you. That's going to be part of it. And then we're going to do a group discussion about tax preparation experiences. So when I say tax preparation experiences, I just want to know, like, even if you did TurboTax, Jackson Hewitt, just want to know where your mind frame and where you stand at as far as tax preparation. So I know where I'm at when it comes to working with you or understanding the concept of tax preparation. All right, the process. So you're going to gather your client's information. Everybody has access to the job form. The job form is a template. So in other words, you have to make your own JOT form account, use the template because I literally have everything on there for you. As far as the questions that you need answered to ensure that you're in compliance and due diligence as far as with the IRS. Nobody wants to be hit with a fine behind some information that you did not ask for or did not obtain from your client. So take the time out, make your JOT, create your JOT account, and click on the template to put it in your account. The account, once you do that, then you'll get a link. Literally, I have everything already set up for you. All you do is take this run around and take your link. That link, you'll be sharing it with your clients. They'll fill out their application for you. You'll get a notification on your phone saying that their application is finished. Once they finish their application, of course, you'll log into the system. And then you're going to go from the form to the system. Simple. You shouldn't have to ask them for any other information unless they are a Schedule C individual. Then you'll get some more information from them if they do not provide you with expenses, the EIN number, or things of that nature that you need. Other than that, the form literally gives you all the information that you need. They'll upload any W-2s, the IDs, the Social Security cards, the birth certificates, 1099s, anything that you may need to fill out their tax form. That I made sure that all of it was inside of that form. So you shouldn't have to ask them any. Determine your income courses, your income source, we'll also be going through that. So first, let's go over your filing statuses. Of course, we have 5 primary filing statuses in the United States to determine your standard deduction or your itemized deduction or any type of credits or deductions that you possibly are eligible to get throughout your tax form. So of course you have your single individuals. A lot of people that are single and they take care of their household, they believe that they're head of household. You can't be head of household if you have no dependents. So even if they are living alone and they're taking care of everything in their house, they're considered single if they are not legally married or have any children to go along with it. Married filing jointly, of course, are your married couples. They combine their income and their deductions. Married filing separately is the ones that don't want to combine their income and deductions, but they do tend to keep themselves from getting certain credits when they are not combined. Of course, you have your head of household that has qualifying children, qualifying dependents. They do have a higher standard deduction when it comes to them compared to a single status. And then you have your qualified widower with a dependent child. This is somebody that recently just lost their loved one. And they can file like this for up to 2 years. After that, then they have to, if they do not get married again, they will either be head of household or single, depending on the dependent. Um, so those are your filing statuses. So please, I have a guide that will be on everybody's system. The guide will walk you through the process of how to determine which filing status to give your individual. Now, as far as your federal and state taxes, all right. So with federal income tax, the progress rate ranging between 10% and 37% of individuals are based on the tax bracket. So when I say that, it's when I say that we're talking about their W-2s. So when it comes to their federal income tax, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, if you've ever had a W-2 in box 2, it determines what your federal income tax is on how much taxes had came out of your tax return. I always tell people is there at least 10% taken out, because you want to have at least 10% to keep from having to owe them. If you don't have at least 10%, it's a good possible that you're going to owe the IRS. But knowing what I know, there's a possibility that you can probably get them back everything that's in box 2, depending on their deductions and their itemized deductions. But we'll go over that when that time comes. When it comes to filing income tax with the federal, it is the 1040, the 1040A, and the 1040EZ. Now, the difference between each one of these, a regular 1040, you can put a Schedule C with. A 1040A is for our seniors. The letters are just bigger. And the 1040EZ is just a smaller, doesn't have the Schedule C and all those extra paperwork that goes with it. So it's just, like I said, easy, simple. But that's the difference when it comes to it. But that's if you're doing it by paper, if you're doing it by hand. But since we're doing everything electronically, that really does not make a difference, because when they get it, it's going to be for them anyway. So when it comes to your payroll, you want to try to at least have them take 6.2% from each paycheck. So when you go through with your client, talk to them about their W-4s. We'll go over W-4s when we get closer to the tax season. That way, if you do run into some clients that have not had taxes taken out, y'all will have an understanding on how to help them fix their W-4. You always want to look for ways to retain them as a client more than just an actual tax client. If you take the time out to help them with their receipts, their booking, their bookkeeping, then now you're a bookkeeper for them. You can turn around and charge them bookkeeping fees. Like, there's different ways to retain them so they don't go to nobody else. You want to keep them as a client, which you want to keep your money flowing. Tax is just one thing. So then you have, what else do I want to go over with y'all? Because we're not going to talk about corporate taxes. Business taxes are totally different. That's a whole nother story. Right now, we're just going to focus on the 1040. But I will be showing y'all what the actual business tax forms look like, what their numbers are. So if somebody ever presents you with one of those, you can let them know, hey, I don't touch corporate. You don't do corporate taxes just yet. Now, if I get you onto that, it's a whole nother system on what I'm going to actually teach y'all. But that's a whole nother story. When it comes to state taxes, that's more of your property taxes, your real estate taxes. There's also a way that you can actually help your client get out of debt or their liability not be as high just by helping them with their personal property taxes. The registration, the decals that they put on their car. If they use their car to Uber, they use their car to just drop off food, Instacart, things of that nature. Um, you can actually write off the mileage that they have on their car, the tires, the oil changes. Like there's different ways that you can help your client with the liability that is legally binded for them. There's several deductions. You just have to be aware of what you can touch and what you can't touch. And then the sales tax that goes in when it comes to them and their business. So it all really depends if they have a business put on their taxes that you can actually do sales tax for the local taxes. Property taxes that also will fall inside, like I said, your state, but it would help out the other part as well. All right. So of course you see this little quiz time. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question now. I'm hoping that it does what I want it to do because it's not supposed to show you the answer yet. I have not tested it out yet. So we'll see if it's gonna work. Okay, good. It didn't show it to y'all. All right. So who wants to answer this question for me before I show the actual answer? And I'm very nice at calling people out. So I would just like for somebody to just volunteer. All right, come on, Misty. You can come off mute.
Off you. I was struggling to get off mute. Tax prep is where we actually prepare our clients' taxes to be submitted so that they can see if they owe or are getting a refund. It comes from their W-2 and W-4s at the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, I can take that one. I can take that one. All right. Tax preparation is a process of preparing and filing taxes for an individual or the business. Now, us, again, it says businesses, but you have to remember we have small businesses. If they are not making well over six figures, they are a small business and their taxes has to be filed with their personal. A lot of them think that they have to file it separately. If they are not making over six figures, they're not filing them separately. They're filing them with their personal. All right. All right. What documents do I need to prepare my taxes? So this is what the client is asking you. So who's going to take this one? And you don't even have to give me all of them. Just give me an idea of what paperwork you need to file their taxes.
Anybody answering or?
I'm telling y'all, I will unmute you for you.
Does anybody answer, Neona, or?
Yeah, I don't care who answers, just somebody answer.
Okay, W-2 or 1099 if they're self-employed, ID and social security number. Social security number. And if they have dependent, social security number for the dependents.
Okay. Straightforward, basic. Okay, the tax you will need various documents. So of course you're going to need your W-2, your 1099, your receipts for any deductibles. So if they are a small business, they're going to need the receipts, or at least give you the spreadsheet showing where they use their money at, so you can be able to determine what they can write off and what they can't write off. If they have a mortgage, property taxes, which we talked about that, you're definitely going to need that. Records if they have done any donations to like the YMCA, Goodwill, things of that nature. They donated a car. It also helps if you know what was on their previous tax return as well, and then their personal identification information. All right, terminology. So you have your adjusted gross income, which is basically what they have made throughout the whole year before taxes. So of course they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know I made that much." Of course you didn't. You paid taxes, unless you went exempt the whole year. And then I want to know, why are you sitting in front of me, because I can't do anything for you. You owe them. But that is what your HEI is. Then you have your dependents. We'll go over. Well, technically, no, I'm not going to go over that, because if you are in the Facebook group, or even if y'all paid attention to the syllabus that I sent out, and the syllabus is a link to every video that I've already done for any information that y'all might need. So definitely go check out the syllabus. for this class because those videos are there, and I'm not going back over them. Sorry.
What Facebook group?
The Facebook group I hadn't added you is a Tax Bully Pro affiliate and partner group, but I'll add you to that one. But the links are on the syllabus, which will actually put you right into the group.
And the syllabus is in GroupMe?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And then you have your deductions. I also have a video over excuse me, not simple, the standard deduction and the itemized deductions. I'm going to the group real quick to add you because I may not have sent you one. Oh. All right, now you have your credits. Your credits is like your child tax credit, your school credits, your earned income credits. And then you have your filing status, which we already went over that. Okay, there you go. Okay. All right, I just sent you the invitation. That is my fault. All right. Exempts is basically what we had just talked about when you're not paying the portion that you're supposed to the taxes, their spouse or their dependents. And it's basically going to determine what your W-4 looks like if you are a W-2 worker. Now, if you are a 1099 worker, you obviously do not pay taxes, and that is what you all are. Y'all are contractors. Okay, so you hung right back up. Okay. All right. Yeah, so y'all won't be paying taxes out on the 1099s. So we will have to work with y'all when it comes to doing your income as far as that when it's time to do your taxes. Then you have your gross income, the total you earn before deductions, and that's per wages, like per W-2, per paycheck, basically. Then you have your itemized deductions, which is your medical, your state, your local taxes, as far as your personal property, car taxes, whatever things of that nature, as far as your charitable as well. Which we went over that a little bit. We will do like a mock. We would do a mock return. Okay. We'll do a mock return on those so y'all can see the difference as far as that. But I am going to log into the system before we get off of here just to show you how the system looks. If you have not taken the time out to look at the demo link that is actually in there, I know a couple of y'all did go ahead and do the demo and do the assignment that I had put into the group, just so you can get a feel of how to put the information in. That was the whole point of the assignment. I just wanted to see if y'all could go in, take the information that was given to you, and put it in. Everybody actually came up with the exact same answer. So I know that y'all can basically do data entry. That was the whole point. And the part of the assignment that it was asking y'all to do that all y'all had a question about, you wasn't going to get it on 2023 tax return because those was made 2021. With them being made in 2021, there was a lot of being able to backtrack and add more income to your account because we was in COVID years. So that's when they were made. So that's why I said, don't worry about it. Just focus on what you can do and we'll go from there. So unless you're going to do a 2021 return and they need to go back and get some extra money or have their income compared so they can have that extra money, there's no reason to even worry about that part. For my ladies that just came in, this is going to be, it is recorded. I will share it with you. But do me a favor. Just let me know if y'all not going to be able to make it or y'all going to be running late. Because at the end of the day, I respect y'all time. All I ask is y'all to respect my time. Standard deduction is just like our itemized, but our standard deduction is given to every individual automatically by the IRS. Standard deduction is only $12,500. That's the only thing they give you to help out your tax bracket.
Neoni, can I interrupt you for a second? I'm sorry. It's 3 other girls that's in the other chat that was trying to get in. I had to literally like scroll up to see if you had sent another link because I had went to the original call that we were, I guess, whatever room we were supposed to be in, and it's 3 other girls over there. So I don't know.
So y'all didn't click the link that I sent at 6 something?
No, ma'am. We clicked the original one. So it's 3 other girls over there. So some told me to come out because I'm like, something can't be right. But I was over there since 7 o'clock. So, and they've been over there as well. I just wanted to let you know.
Hey, ladies. Boogie.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetheart. Go back out of this and you'll see the actual link for the meeting.
Okay. Go on to this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going. Wait a minute.
It's only 2 ways to get shit. You gonna get dead or jail. You get out early. So I'm sure you make it. Okay, the one that says you're invited to my new group.
It says a Google.
Group me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, KJ Tax Bullet Preparers join group.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Dixon.
All that. But I'm here now.
All right, okay. I got it on here. I'm just waiting for you to pop up so I can let you in.
I'm trying to hit the link that you sent me. My phone moves so slow sometimes. Okay.
Okay. All right. You can hang this one up. All right, Jayla.
Hey, you hear? You see me?
Yeah, I can see you in this one, but this is not the right one. That's why I was trying to see if you heard what I just told Boogie.
I was trying, so I think I got to download Google Meet or whatever.
Yeah, we're in Google Meet.
Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to download on my phone. I'm at work, but I'm gonna pay attention.
It's gonna be recorded. I just need you to log on. So whatever you don't get right now, I'm gonna send y'all the recording afterwards.
Okay.
Because that's how I'm gonna know who to give it to. That's how I'm keeping up with it. If you logged on, then I'll send you the recording.
Okay.
Who did I get?
And then just hang up from this one right here.
Yeah, you can hang up from this one.
Okay. I'm gonna have to download it.
Okay. All right. Ooh, text. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ebony.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Okay. Tax liability, because we talked about the brackets. The brackets determine on how much you owe. No, excuse me, determines how much you make, on which tax bracket you live in, and that's going to determine how much you're going to actually owe the state or owe the federal. Everybody's going to be in a different tax bracket. That's where it comes to term of um, middle class, lower class, upper class. That's where the tax brackets come in at. If you take the time out to look at your training guide that I provided everybody, you will actually see I have that information in there for you as well. And I also go over it in the videos as well. All right, so you got your taxable income. Your taxable income is any type of income that you have come in, anything. That could be unemployment, that can be money that you made at the lemonade stand. Like, they can tax anything that you get. It's just your determination if you're going to tell them or not. And I'm just going to be realistic or not. If it goes on to some type of paperwork, a 1040, a 1099, excuse me, not a 1040, W-2, a 1099, NEC, miscellaneous, any of those is going to be in the IRS paper, in the IRS handbook. They already have it in their system. So there's no way to try to move around them and pretend like you don't see it or you don't have it, because they're going to know what paperwork you've already got. They already know what you have. Our job is to make sure that all of it is being actually counted. That's where we come in at. We're just the middleman. So what the IRS has not accumulated, but what they have made is made tax preparers. So you have tax preparers, you have EAs, you have accountants, you have bookkeepers. All of us are basically doing the same thing, just doing it in a different way. An EA is actually above a tax preparer. But unless you want to go way into all that, I'm not even going to sit here and conversate with y'all about that part. It just depends on how passionate you're going to be about this first season, to determine how far you really want to go in it. Estimated taxes are usually done by the self-employed, which is what we are, where we can actually pay a little bit of our tax liability throughout the year, through each quarter. So there's 4 quarters. It's 12 months. Y'all already know how to count. So every 3 months, you'll pay them something for the amount of money that you had actually made. So that way, by the time tax season comes, they're going to send you these little receipt papers that's going to say that you pay estimated taxes and this is how much you paid into it. So it's going to bring your liability down. You can, or you can just try to use your deductions and not pay all of it at once. That's your choice. But that option is there. Then you have your earned income. That's where our tax liability, our tax deduction credits are going to come in at. Your interest, your dividends, your capital gain. We'll go into more in detail when we start actually doing stuff. Your capital gains, you sell a property or in any investments. In other words, if you own houses, real estate, you sell cars, things of that nature. Your W-2 forms, which y'all know, they'll be sent out by the 31st. They're supposed to be, let's put it like that. They're supposed to be sent out around that time so you can get it within January, February. But of course, we know some people, some businesses drag their feet and they don't come to us on time. Gladly, technology has helped us out, especially us as being tax preparers, that they can get everything digital now. We don't have to worry about it waiting for them to get it in the mail. A lot of times I'm aware of when ADP puts theirs in there because I use ADP. So I'm aware when ADP releases theirs. And most of the time, right behind ADP, the rest of the businesses are actually putting theirs inside of the portals. So then you can start telling your people, hey, go check your portal. You should have your W-2s. We can get this ball rolling. And then you have your 1099s. We'll go over all the different 1099s. Well, I'll name all the different 1099s. Again, there's a video inside your syllabus that's in the group. I think I pinned it. If I didn't, let me pin it for y'all now. So if you are on a device, at the top, it's going to show you all the pinned documents that I have put into the group. Any links or anything of that nature is all going to be pinned up to the top. And I have no idea where it's at. When I find it, I'll pin it at the top for y'all. So y'all have that. All right. Of course, another quiz for you. Okay, I'll forward that in a second. All right, let's see. This one gonna work right. Yep. All right. What are the filing deadlines for federal income tax return? I'm good for calling on people, but I'm gonna let somebody pick themselves. Who wants to try to answer this question for me?
April 15th.
Diana beat me.
When is it?
April 15th.
April 15th? Is that the only deadline?
Nope, April 17th if they're in Massachusetts or I got it wrote down. Massachusetts.
Those are states.
State.
No, that's state, not federal.
Okay. October.
You got a date for me?
I can't remember the exact day, but I know it's October. I'm wanting to say 21st.
All right, I'll explain it to you. But there go your answer. All right, so federal filing taxes are typically April the 15th of each year. But April 15th is really for those that owe taxes. If you have a client that does not owe, and I didn't even see you lower your hand. You could have just came off a mute. April 15th is really for those that owe the IRS. Okay, so if you have a client that doesn't owe, they have all the way up into October. But if you have a client that owes and they're just dragging their feet, but you know they're going to come to you, you can do an extension for them to keep them from having to have such of a penalty, but they're still going to get a penalty if they owe by the time you finish their tax return. So it's a Russian roulette type of thing. When it comes to April the 15th, if you have a client, you possibly can help them get out of their tax liability to where they won't have to owe them anything, but you won't know until you actually put all their information in, ask them all those requiring questions. They fill out the form and you have all those answers in order for you to know if they're going to owe or not. So it's really up to you and your clients to find out exactly what's going on. So like with me, for an example, I have a client, I did 21, 22, and 23 for her, but she had none of her paperwork. She had no forms. So we had to wait for the IRS to send her all the forms with her wages on it in order for me to have the EIN numbers and the names of her employers, as well as how much taxes and how much she's actually made throughout those businesses, those jobs. So I ended up having to do an extension for her because I could not, I had to wait. So, but gladly, she didn't have to owe. Because we sat down and we had some long talks. But again, it's really depends on what goes on between you and your client. Well, what your client has going on and what you can do for them and what you can't do for them. So a couple of my young ladies that are already on the team, Misty is actually already on the team. The rest of you young ladies are all new because my other ladies have graduated to business owners. So they all have offices now. So that's why I'm putting together a whole new team. So I have 7 young ladies that I am actually helping getting their businesses together, jumping in their team training. So I'm there just to observe to make sure they got everything right. And what is wrong? What is it? That's between you and your. Okay. What are the standard deductions and how do they work? Now, this one, granted, yeah, we didn't go over this one in this video, and the reason being because it's in your training guide. And some of y'all have been in the group me long enough that training guide has been shared a couple of times. So that just shows me, because nobody has stuck their hand up, that nobody has taken the time to look at their training guide. Because their training guide has everything in it, to the point where I don't even have to do these trainings because y'all training guide has everything. Ooh, sound like crickets. Y'all know better. All right. Standard deduction is a fixed amount that reduces the income you're taxed on. And I showed y'all the definition. Ooh. Y'all know better. Ooh, y'all know better. What's up, Buggy? Let me see. Can I take you off mute? No, you got to take yourself off mute. They won't let me take you off.
Okay. How about now?
Yep. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
didn't get no I didn't get no training guide.
I know you just got in the group, so you got to pass. You just got in the group, so you got to pass.
Okay.
It's in there, but I'll repost it because everybody gave me crickets.
Okay. Well, I gotta put you back on mute because I'm at work too.
Yeah, you gotta put yourself back on mute. Okay. All right. So tax forms and deduction and documentation. Tax form and documentation are essential components to the tax preparation process, ensuring the accuracy of reporting the income, deductions, and credits to the tax authorizations. Common tax forms include your W-2, which reports your wages, your taxes withheld by employers, and various 1099 forms, which detail other types of income, such as interest, dividends, independent contractors' earnings. Individuals typically file their return using forms like 1040, which is a standard form for reporting personal income, claiming deductions, and credits. Alongside these, taxpayers must organize supporting documents such as receipts for deductible expenses, statements, or interest paid, and records of charitable contributing. Y'all got it. Words ain't coming out right. Now that goes back to what I was saying as far as it says taxpayers must organize. Now, if they ask you to do this and they just send you a bunch of receipts and not giving you the amounts, let them know there is a bookkeeping fee because that's taking up your time. You're not a bookkeeper, you're a tax preparer. They're supposed to have all this together. So if they are asking you to do this, then you tax them on your preparation because now they're making you a bookkeeper. Understand what I'm saying? If they're gonna make you do this extra work, then you get paid for extra service because that's what it is. Maintaining through accuracy of documentation critical for sustaining claims on your tax returns and addressing any potential injuries or audits from tax authorities. Like I said, we want to stay in compliance at all times. Nobody wants to be hit with a fine because they will audit the crap out of my office behind any hiccups that y'all may have, and I'll get hit with the fine along with you, and we'll both be riding on a fine. And I don't want no fine for something I didn't do. So we got to stay on top of what information we put in. Filing requirements and deadlines, which we've already briefly went over that. Taxpayers in the United States must file. So if your client be like, "Oh, I'm not filing," da da da, everybody's required to file, even if they don't feel like they're going to get any money back. Fine, file it. You're supposed to. That's going to keep you from being fined later on. Explain that to them, because they can go back and fine them for not filing. Because again, if they receive a W-2 or a 1099 at any point, the IRS is aware that they got some type of money and they were taxed at some point. So they know how much you may owe them or they may owe them, because of the information that they have in their system. So to prevent any headache or tax liens or anything of that nature, tell them they need to go ahead and file. Definitely, especially if they have not filed this year just yet, they need to go ahead and knock it out. If they didn't file any previous, if I'm not mistaken, the system will go all the way back until, no, actually we can't even do 2020 no more. 2021 is as far as we can go back to do electronic filing. Anything behind that, it has to be paper. So just throw this out real quick. I'll go back over it later. If you have a client that has not filed a previous tax return and you put it in the system, and once you get to the end and the system says, hey, this has to be a paper return, then you'll have to finish it in the system, turn around and print it out, and then turn around and separate the state and the federal and send them off individually for your client. So with that being said, you got to be paid up front because you can't send it through the bank product, and we'll go through the bank products when we get to week 4, and then y'all have an understanding what I'm saying about that part. Went over the April 15. All right, taxpayers can request the automatic 6 months extension to file the return by submitting in 4868. We can actually do that inside of the system as well. All they have to do is just let you know they need an extension. A lot of offices do charge to file an extension. Me personally, I don't. What you do on your personal is on your personal, but I personally don't file. I don't charge them to file an extension, but I do charge them to do an amendment. But we'll go over that as well later on. All right, tax forms. All right, so you got a 1040. Like I said about that one is your basic form for individuals that file their annual federal income tax return, which includes your deductions, your credits, and your tax payments. Then you have your older people. This is just larger print, which is just like the 1040A I was explaining to y'all earlier. Okay. All right, so then you have your W-2, which is your wages, your tips, your compensation pay to any employee. Again, this will be sent out by January the 31st. Then you have your W-4. Employees use this form to indicate their tax situation to the employer for the proper withholding, typically completed when starting a new job or when personal or federal financial situations change. Then you have your series of 1099s, reports various types of income other than wages, salaries, and tips. Then you have your 1099 NIT, which is your interest income. Interest income is what you possibly, for example, that you get from the bank. If y'all ever paid attention that your bank will give you interest once you hold a certain amount of money in your savings account, you'll get a 1099 INT from the bank. Same thing with your dividends and your distributes. Lord, my nose, I can't say some of these words. These ones will come from, again, they can be the bank, they can be your property taxes, they can be the charitable, they can be a number of different things. Your miscellaneous ones can be if you're getting rent or royalties from a family member that has passed or things of that nature. Your non-employee commission are our independent contractors, which is what y'all will get from me. And then you have your unemployment benefits. All right, so these are the business forms that I was informing y'all about. If you ever have a client that presents you with any of these forms, let them know that you are not equipped to go ahead and take any of these forms because you are not able to do corporate taxes. Our cloud-based system that I am presenting you all with can only hold the 1040. Now, if I teach you the corporate taxes, it's a whole nother ball game, and you have to have the desktop version. And I do have a training course on the desktop version. But again, we're not going to do y'all like that. I'm going to leave y'all on the simple until y'all are ready for that. But again, if you get any of these forms, back out as soon as possible because this is a whole nother ball game. This is a whole lot of money that you don't want to play with because any type of oopsies or inconsistencies on these will screw you and that business owner up, and you don't want to put anybody in that position. And these are more of your corporate, your over six-figure earners, so you definitely don't want to touch those. Income documentation, went over that. So that's your W-2s, your 1099s, business income records, rental income statements. Expense documentation can be your receipts, your deductible expenses as far as your medical bills, your charitable bills, and your mortgage interest. which is a Form 1098, and then you have a 1098T. The 1098T is for your school income. That is also in one of those videos that I had provided y'all that is on the syllabus. Then you have your investment documentations. You have your broker statements. These are your individuals that do Forex or trade stocks, or even gamble. Those are our 1099G, if I'm not mistaken, is our ones that win money in the casinos or even off their lottery tickets. Then you have your personal information. You have your social security numbers for each family member that is put onto this return, your previous year tax return, because you want to be aware of what their tax I'm sorry, I just lost where I was at. You have your social security numbers for your family members, your previous tax return. Okay. You want to have their previous tax return because you want to know what their filing status was. Because if they filed married filing separately last year and then they're trying to file single this year, you have to have an understanding of was your divorce finalized? When was your divorce finalized? Because if their divorce was not finalized until the year that you actually filed them, then they're not filing single just yet. And the reason being, if they were still married at December the 31st, then that's what it is. You have to go by whatever there were the year prior, because that's the year they were filing. And then your bank details for your direct deposit. Of course, you're going to need that because they got to put their money somewhere unless they're requesting a check. Now, before we jump into the system, does anybody have a question about anything that we just went over?
I have a question, but I don't know if you touch base on it before I got into this
Okay.
this one or not. But my sister had an issue with her filing her taxes, and I was like, you know what? Let me ask Neona. So she filed her federal taxes, but was going to do electronically and was going to do her state taxes paper.
It is possible.
Okay, but she didn't know how to do that.
Okay.
Or
which system is she using?
Girl, don't give me the line.
Okay. So she can do it that way. I know with TurboTax, they charge for you they'll file your federal for free. But then they'll charge to file your state. So a lot of them will actually just print off the state information and send it off to the state. So she has to look into the system and see how she's able to print that off. So she doesn't have to file it electronically.
Okay.
But she can do it that way. You can do one electronically and then the other one on paper.
Okay.
All right, so stop sharing for a second. Let me open up this other screen. Okay, this is the right one. All right, so this is what your system looks like. So this is your login. Everybody will have their own personal login. Do I want to do? No, let me use my other login. This will ask you for verification. So if you have a phone number, try not to change it. If you do change it, please let me know so I can change it in the system, or you will not be able to get into the system. All right. This is not mobile friendly. So please don't try to use it on your phone because you're not able to see the whole screen. You're just not. I have done that plenty of times.
No
You all
tablets either.
say it again?
I said no tablets either.
No. Not on certain things. You're not gonna be able to get everything because it's not gonna open up the whole screen and it does not adjust to the size of the screen. So that's why I was like, you can't do it that way. Again, I've tried it. So don't do it. You will not see everything that I have on here because of course my window is going to be a little bit different than you all's. What you will see is start to return, import, and client search. That's the only three that y'all will see. Y'all won't see any of those ones. But you will see the message center, any rejected clients for you, because you won't see each other's clients. And then if you have anybody using Tax to Go. Now, Tax to Go is our app. You can have your client use that app, but the reason why I don't shoot for the app is because it doesn't ask all the requirement questions that you need to ask them, which is what the job form is for. So to prevent you from having to go back and ask so many questions, I skip over the whole app. Now, you can have them use the app, but you're putting more work on yourself, in my opinion. So I try to make it easy for you. So you have two different options on getting your client's information. You can either go ahead and use the app or you can use the job form. Okay, so let's go into here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so this message is going to pop up of every client when you put them into the system. And this is just saying that they're giving you consent to put their information in here. And you'll have their signature as long as you're using your job form. So they can't say, well, I didn't give you permission. Your job form, they have to sign it at the end when they submit it to you. So their signature is on there. And I do have the consent on the bottom of the job form. Again, this is just to cover y'all behind and cover mine at the same time. All right, so as you can see, it's going to ask you all these different questions. So you got your filing status, your non-resident alien. So this is going to be for our individuals that do not have a social security number. You can help them get a ITIN, but we'll go through that on another basis. Base-to-base client, there's no reason for me to put information out there if y'all are not obtaining these type of clients. So for right now, just for purposes, let's just do head account so you can see the dependent. Occupation, I do prefer you to put the occupation in there because it is a question, but you don't have to if you don't know it. But that is also on your job form. It does ask that question. So if you have a taxpayer, they're over the age of 18, but they can still be claimed as somebody's dependent. You have to make sure that you have to make sure you click on this box. If not, then the client that claimed them, they're going to get their return, but this return is going to be held up because they're on somebody else's tax return. So you want to make sure you find out, especially if you have a college student, or a individual that is on disability, but they want to file because they do have a dependent, but somebody else take care of them as well. You want to be able to make sure you have all this information. You want to note if the taxpayer is blind, because then they'll actually send them information that is in Braille. So you want to make sure you put all this separate information on. If you have an individual that is deceased and their family member is trying to file the rest of their information for them, please make sure you click that as well. This tax season, my daughter was able to file her father. He passed away in August, and she was able to file the rest of his information onto hers. So you got to make sure that you put that information on there if you have somebody that is deceased and they're trying to finish their tax liability. The good thing I like about this system is you put the zip code in, it automatically will populate the state and the city for you. You don't have to type all that in, so it skips it a little bit for you. It does require that you put a phone number in, so please pay attention to these little red things because it will kick it back. You do want to make sure you put in a email address for them because you're going to need it at the end of this return. So the client portal I was explaining to you about, this is your customer portal. You can send them their invite right off the bat, or you can send them their invite at the end. I personally like to send it at the end because if I'm not done with their return, and just say it's taking me a little bit longer to get them out of their tax, out of the hole, let's put it like that. If it's taking me a little bit long to get them out the hole, I don't want to be interrupted saying, hey, I logged into the portal. What do you need me to do? Nothing right now. Just wait until I get back in touch with you. So me personally, I don't send it to them because what's the point of you sending it to them and you're not even ready for them to go into the portal just yet? Make sure you do have this information. This goes back to cross referencing the information that they give you. I've had clients fill out the tax form, fill out their job form, and mess up putting their child's birthday. And I've had people give me the child's birthday as the day of they filled it out, and I'm looking like, you can't be serious. So that's why I asked for the birth certificate and I asked for the social, because I've even had people put their own social for the child. Like, what are you doing? So just make sure that y'all are really paying attention to what your client put in, because they're not paying attention to what they're doing. So you also want to make sure that this dependent has been with the client for the 12 months. So you want to put yes. You want to say what they are to this client. These are your qualifying dependents. These are the only people that can be determined as a dependent. Now, if you put none, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions at the end for your due diligence. What's up, Anna?
So this is more on a personal line. Amy and I just got custody of our grandkids, and we give them in May, but they have been with us since February. So like they've been dependent on us essentially for, it'll be 11 months out of the year. I know in the training guide it says as long as the child or children live in the household and you take care of more than half of their expenses for at least 6 months, then you qualify for EIC.
Yep.
So in essence, that it would be the same thing, even though we got like legal custody of them in May.
Correct.
That's just when
you can still file them. You can still file them on the return, even though at the time you did not have legal custody, you were still providing for them half of the year. So in order for y'all to get your whole credit, you just FYI, you put 12 months. If you only put the 6, you're not going to get the whole credit.
Gotcha.
All right, so this is the death certificate part. That's how I was telling you, if you had a client that passed away. Now, this birth certificate part, you actually don't have to fill out, or the medical part. You don't have to utilize those. You can, but you don't have to. A identification pin. So a lot of clients may have an identification pin. Each year they get a new identification pin. So please make sure to let your client know, do not give me the pin from the previous year. Go into your ID.me account and provide me the newest pin, please and thank you. Because if not, it's going to be rejected. And some clients will act as if they never got a pin or they know nothing about it, which is crazy to me because somebody signed up for you to have a pin. So go give me the pin, or we're just not going to file your return. All right. So this is where we put our. Say it again. Sorry.
So everybody gets a pin every year?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So
yeah, kind of confused me a little bit because I was like, wait, how does that work?
Everybody does not get a pin. You can actually go onto the IRS website and actually request the pin. These pins are to prevent a lot of people from dealing with fraud when it comes to their tax return. So you have to have that pin in order to file. So a lot of people, especially during COVID time, a lot of people were being filed and wasn't supposed to be filed, or they didn't file themselves. So now that's one reason why we have a lot of verification letters being sent out, because they want to ensure that you are aware that your tax return has been filed. And they want to make sure that you know what's on the actual tax return. COVID years, y'all are coming in on a normal base. I came in during COVID time. And it's totally different. Totally different. So when it comes to that, you just got to ask them. It's on the job form. I'll show y'all the job form if you haven't already clicked on it. Yeah, unless you file for it, unless you apply for it, you're not going to get one. Sometimes they send it in a letter. You can determine how you're going to get it. You're either going to get it electronically or you're going to get it in the mail. But they can log into their ID.me account. Everybody, I'm suggesting all of y'all get an ID.me account if you don't already have it, so you are aware of your tax liability, or you're aware of what's been on your taxes for the last couple of years. So you don't have any hiccups, and you can be able to tell your client how to get to their ID.me account and be able to check any information. Your transcripts are also in there. So you can actually explain to your client how to look at their transcript to determine if they are being funded by a certain day, because they'll kill each year. They kill, where's my refund? And it blows every year, because they're so busy jumping on it to the point where now they say, now the IRS have it. If you check it too many times, it will literally lock you out of it until the following day. So to keep them from doing that, go ahead and get you an ID.me account, so you be able to explain to them how to look at their transcripts. That way they know what process they're in for their tax return. They say it's supposed to be between 7 and 21 days. We have clients that are still waiting to be funded. And I think one of them, when I looked the other day, was like on day 46. They take their time. They'll get to you when they get to you. There's nothing that we can do about it to speed it up. And you will have clients that be like, well, what's going on? Why is it? I don't work for the IRS. I can't answer that question for you. If you want me to, I can call them and find out what the holdup is, but I don't work for the IRS, or you can call one or the other. I also have the different phone numbers also pinned in the group. So you might want to write those down in a notebook somewhere, because those numbers are essential for you as a tax preparer. Once tax season starts, everybody will be using the say if you got a W-2 in account. Say we had somebody, I had somebody that worked for McDonald's, and then you had somebody that worked for McDonald's. Even if they worked at 2 different locations, but they're using the same EIN, it will automatically populate everything for this business right here. But because my system is brand new, everybody will be typing in because it is clean. There's nothing in there. So I'm going to put a fake one in here real quick so we can get to the bottom. I don't know whose zip code it is. It don't exist. I just push buttons. Okay. All right. So let's say I don't have one in front of me. So let's say our clients made 57. See that it automatically populates these numbers for you, but there is times where these numbers are not always the same. So please make sure you're paying attention to each one of your W-2s, because there could be a time where it actually will be higher or maybe even lower on the actual W-2. So pay attention to that. This right here is what's in our box too. So pay attention to the fact that these are numbered the same way they're numbered on the W-2. So you should never be able to get lost. If you get lost, me and you will have a one-on-one conversation because I don't understand. And you will have to explain to me why I don't understand. All right, so we're going to say that they paid out $9,000. So pay attention if you have something in box 12 or 13. That's usually if they have retirement plans. These letters right here, I might have them already in the group, but I'll double check. But I did give y'all the meaning for each one of these just so you are aware of what you're clicking. This is the same thing with box 14. Usually when you have a retirement plan, you are going to have a box 14 as well, and it's going to ask you how much they paid out in their retirement plan. And of course, this is your state. So let's say that they paid out, usually state they pay out less than they pay out in federal, unless they went exempt, then of course they'll pay out more in state than they did in federal. So now we're going to hit continue. All right. So our client right now is looking at a nice little amount. Now, let's say, and like I said, we're just briefly running through this. I'm not going to hold y'all too much longer. Let's just say she had a side hustle. And this is a side hustle that does not have an EIN. So we're going to skip all of this right here. Let's say she does hair. So we can go in here. We're going to go to beauty. So she's a beauty salon because she does hair. So we're going to hit continue. She's going to provide us the information on how much she made throughout the year. So she told us that she made an extra, let's just say a 5,000. All right. So it's going to add on to her AGI. But of course, it took down her federal because there's no taxes out that extra 5,000 that she just told us that she made. But we also know because she is a hairstylist that she has supplies and things of that nature that has to be purchased. So say if she advertised herself, let's say she did an ad on Facebook. She spent 100. Let's say she's working outside her home, but let's say if she did go rent a booth, she's renting a booth. She rents the booth for, let me get my calculator. She's renting the booth. She pays, I don't even remember how much booth fee is. We just gonna say $50. So she paid $50. She's done hair for the last 6 months. So she spent 300 in just rental property. So her supplies, let's say she's buying some of the cheap stuff, some of the expensive stuff. So we're gonna say she's probably spent about 500 some change. So of course, if she's doing hair, we're gonna hope she's a licensed cosmetologist. We're gonna hope. So if I'm not mistaken, I have not renewed mine in so long. I think the last time I renewed it was like 100 and something. It's because I don't want to do hair no more. So hot. We're just gonna say that's what she does. She pays Wi-Fi. So we're gonna say she pays for the whole year probably a little over 1,000. All right. All right. So of course that took her AGI down some, but it brought her federal back up some. So then we're gonna go to other expenses. And this one I usually put the cell phone. We're gonna say that she phone bills. I know mine is higher than most people, but we're gonna say her phone bill is like 168 times 6, so a little over 1,000. Because we don't want to put the whole amount, for the simple fact we know she uses her cell phone for other things other than just her business. All right, so they put her back up there. Now, you see her expense amounts and how much her net income is. With that being said, we have 2,557. So we go to other taxes. I'll go back over this with you all. It's just I'm showing y'all briefly what a tax return consists of. So we're going to put the 2,507 here. That's going to add to her self-employed tax. And then put her back up there. That way she's counted all her income. And you know what? I forgot something. I didn't do her traveling. Whatever. We'll go back over it. So now we're gonna go to the health. It's gonna automatically ask for health. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever paid attention to it, but everybody tends to get a 1095. So you can either get a 1095B, A, or C. The only one that we use on a tax return is a 1095A. And this is your marketplace insurance. If it is a B or C, those are insurance companies through your job or through the states. Excuse me, through your job or through a different state program. This one is the marketplace. So if they don't provide you one, you're going to automatically say no. And that's another thing that will reject your return. If your client tells you they don't have one or they don't provide you one, and then I turn around and submit your return and it comes back rejected, it's going to tell us if they needed one. And now they got to go find it or call and go get you the information so you can put it on their return, because we can't submit it without it. All right, so these are your due diligence questions. These questions right here, again, are on part of your job form. So was your taxpayer or spouse a non-resident alien part of the year? Of course, your answer is going to be no. It's a taxpayer or spouse a qualifying child or another one. It depends if you answer that first question, if it's going to be yes or no. In this case, it's going to be no. Did you complete the return based on the information provided? We're going to say yes because they filled out that job form for you. Did you interview the taxpayer? And we're going to say yes because your job form is your interview process because it asks all the questions that you need. So technically, you did interview them. Did you review adequate information to determine that the taxpayer is eligible for the claim credits and or head of household? And you're going to say yes about that. And the reason why I'm saying yes, because we know this client is a W-2 worker and they have a dependent. So the answer to that one is yes, they are eligible for it. Did any of the information provided by the taxpayer, third party, or reasonably known connection be incorrect, incomplete, or inconsistent? And we're going to say no, because as far as we know from our interview, that all this information is correct. But if you run across some paperwork, a W-2 or anything that does not look right, and you're questioning it, please let me know. And this one right here, you're going to say yes because you have a job form. So that is your record of retaining the requirements. Each one of y'all job form, once you get it, this little button right here, I'm going to need you to upload it. Because guess who has to keep up with everybody's files? And that's the only way that I can get it. And that's the only way that I'm going to submit this. If you don't put your job form PDF up there, I'm not sending anything until I have documentation that you interviewed this client. Like, again, I have to cover my tail, you have to cover your tail. Here, I usually put see attachment. Did you ask the taxpayer whether he or she has provided documentation? And we're going to say yes. Again, that goes back to the information that we have provided as far as the ID, the child's information as far as their social and their birth certificate. Did you ask the taxpayer for credits disallowed for the prior year? If they tell you, hey, I wasn't able to get any credits last year, then you'll say yes. Again, this is something, if we say no, we're going to say we did ask them. But if they don't tell us if it was a yes or no, it's going to kick it back again, because now it's going to ask us for a form, and I can't think of the number right now, but it's going to ask us to fill out a form to be able to see if they're eligible for those credits. So again, our clients need to be with us, be as truthful with us as possible, because we'll find out the truth regardless, because the system is set up to go straight to the IRS. Like, our system is set up with the IRS. So it's not like TurboTax and the rest of them where they just push stuff through. No. Our system will kick it back because it does not, is not set up the way it needs to be set up, or it does not go through the verification process in order to be put into the IRS account. Were these credits allowed in the previous year? We're going to say no. Did you adequate questions for the Schedule C? Again, they are questions on the job form that is going to give us the answers to the Schedule C. How you determine the taxpayer is in fact eligible for the EIC, and we're going to say yes. Is the taxpayer main home in the United States? Is the taxpayer eligible to be claimed as a dependent? Does the child reside with the taxpayer? Did you explain the ETC, the ACTC? I have all of this also in one of those videos. Again, I'll show y'all where the job form is at and the syllabus set before I jump off. And I'm trying to hurry up because I don't want to keep y'all too much longer. Did you explain? You can say yes, and then it asks you to hit a household questions. Did you determine? And did you clarify? All right, so she does not qualify because her income, she's not below the standard and to get the earned income credit. This chart, if it's in your guide. The chart will show you who can get it and who can't get it. If it's not in your guide, I will provide it, but I think it's in there. And then you have this one. So this one is going to be your documentation. And you're going to say taxpayer provided state ID, dependents, social security number, W-2, and business profit and loss. I'm just getting y'all all the way to the end. So now we are done with the actual return. So now we're being asked, how do we want this sent to them? This right here is one of our bank products. This is our TPG bank product. If you click this, that means I have to print out a check and send it to them. I personally don't want to do that. So please don't make me do that. I do not like carrying the cards because that means I have to send them the card. Please don't make me do that. Please hit direct deposit so you can get paid and I can get paid. But for this purpose, I'm going to hit check so I can show you all the way through. Same thing with their state. The state can be e-filed, but don't do your federal e-filed or you're not getting paid. Always use the bank product, which is going to always sit up top. All right, so I don't have the system fully set up, but this is where you'll put your amount that you're charging them. I'm just going to say 800 for right now. Yeah, I don't have the system fully set up. So this right here, I usually have 15 sitting here. Yeah, I got to finish setting it up. So let me put it back to 0. So y'all can just see it. It'll be set up before we start the year off. And come on, mouse. You have to make sure you click that one. Just say that you did examine that it was not an expired ID. Then we're going to say driver license for state purposes. And then to keep you from having to type all that in, you always click right here and it'll just bring everything over for you. And this is our last screen. So this is where your taxpayer is going to actually do their signature. This is where your signature is going to be. So once you do it one time, it's automatically stuck in the system. You don't have to sign every time you go through this. So this is where you're going to send them the client portal because now you're at the end. So you're going to hit send invite and send them their documents. Once you do that, you go into the system and I will walk y'all through our client portal for you to talk back and forth to your clients. You'll go in there and you'll be like, hey, check your email. You should have an email from Tax Status Now, and it's going to give you the information that you need. So let them know I need you to make your account with Tax Status Now. Log in. You'll see your document. Review your document. Upload your signature and let me know when you're done so I can have your tax return submitted. This also gives you the breakdown of their fees. This will also be inside of their tax form, but you will actually have the breakdown for their fees. And of course, it does not show a tax preparer fee because I got to fix the system. And now I'm wondering why is I got an extra fee somewhere. I'm gonna have to check this. And then you're gonna click review and then save. It's gonna come to me. And when I log in, I will see this. That's how I'll know when you've done your client. So then all I have to do is click on review. And then all I got to do is turn around, go in, review it for you, go see if your job form has been uploaded so I can review it for you to make sure you didn't miss anything. There's no hiccups or anything of that nature. And then I'll submit it for you. And then we'll go from there. All right, so that is the system. Before I come all the way out of it, was there any questions about the system itself for right now? All right, take crickets is a no.
No, I had one question. It was you know, I'm a lot ADD and I was somewhere else. So when it comes down to the fees, those fees are already going to be generated in the system?
Yes. So
Okay.
like I said, I have not finished setting it up because we're not ready to use it just yet.
Right.
So I haven't went in and finished setting up the fees, but it will automatically set you up with a fee. But I will have it where you can change the fee to the amount that you want it to be. So each document, how we usually have the fees, each document will actually have an amount set up to it. I usually don't charge no more than like $4 or $5 per document.
Okay.
So it will usually, my system will set you up into like where you're at like 200 and something, maybe 300 something, depending. And then that's added on with the actual system fees, which is what y'all seen at the end, because there was no prepare fee on there. So that's the only thing that was missing was your prepare fee. So like I said, you can change your prepare fee to whatever you want it to be. But I don't want y'all to go anything under what I put in. And I'm thinking I'm not going to have y'all go under like 4, maybe 3, just so you can get something. Like, I don't want y'all to do all that work and then don't receive any type of money back from it.
Okay.
Since we're talking about fees, we'll go back over all of this at the end because we still have to go like over our contract. I was about to call it an agreement, but our contract, everybody is on a 80-20 split. That means you get 80% of what you worked on. I receive 20% of it. And the reason why I'm saying I receive 20% of it, because I have to go back and go over your work. So if I have to do extra work, I should be able to get paid off of your work as well. Now, how I started off as a preparer, I was on a 60-40 split. And then the following year, I was on a 70-30. And then when I became an office manager, she was only giving me 200 per return. So I personally have been where y'all at. It's just, I'm just doing stuff differently. Like, I know how much work is put into this, and I'd rather for y'all to see the amount of your money instead of not seeing nothing at all. Now, where did I put the group me?
So what's typically the amount of time, like on average, for someone to go from where we are now to having their own office per se?
It depends on how much you're willing to put into it your first year. And I say that because there's a lot to learn as far as taxes. As long as you got the basics down, and you know how to interact with the IRS, you know how to read a transcript, you know how to be able to glance at a W-2 and be able to tell your taxpayer that you can help them or you can't help them. It's more of how much knowledge you're going to have in order to be able to function without having anybody watching over you. With my office owners, I am still mentoring them. So I haven't left their side. but I'm making them do it by themselves. Like I'm not doing it for them. I'm not going in their systems. I'm not looking at any returns. I'm not doing any of that because those are not my preparers. Those are yours. So I want you to be able to get through it by yourself. So me personally, like I said, I jumped into this during COVID years. So what I'm on my fourth year, going in my fifth year. So it depends on how much information you want to retain, on how fast you can get into it. My ladies that are office owners for next year, they are going into their second year. And I actually didn't have to do a whole lot with them because they took the time out to do a lot of personal research. So it's really up to you on how much information you want to retain in order to be able to step off by yourself. All right. So up here at the top, I know I'm showing y'all on the computer, but it will show you the pinned ones on your phone as well. So this is your syllabus that I gave you all. So this just runs down everything that we are doing for the 4 weeks. I'm not going to go through everything, but it just breaks everything down. I'm going to where the videos are at. So this one right here is my deluxe training guide. This one actually has a lot more than the other one. You are not required to get this one. This one is just if you chose to, but you're not required because I gave you the simple one to work on. This one just is a lot. I changed the cover since I had this one printed, but this one has a lot more information. Shit. Excuse my language, y'all. I apologize. I forgot I had that darn thing on it. It has a lot more information into it. Like I even have it in here where it explains to you each one of the different different codes that are on your transcripts. So like I said, this one is a lot different than the one that I have presented to you all that is the digital version. Then, oh, smell. Then you have your videos. So you have other taxable income. It's going to take you straight to the Facebook group. And it's going to put you on the video. So each one of those links are attached to the videos. So it makes it easier for you to go find them, even though if you go to features, any video that I've done, any information that I've put in here for y'all, all of them are here. And that is that part. And then you have your training guide right here as well. And it's just a simpler version of what we've been through. So this right here, like I said, everything that I've talked to y'all about, this basically gives you all the information on how to obtain your P10, create your tax goals, obtaining software, how to make your money, shows you where your P10 is going to show at on the 1040. I even tell you how to get your P10, but do not get your P10 right now because it's going to give it to you for this year and then you have to turn around and pay for another one for next year. So don't get your P10 right now unless you have clients that you want to put in the system right now. I wouldn't do it right now because it's not going to be any good to you. The price has changed since I've made this book. If I'm not mistaken, last year when I had my girls do it last year, it was $19.99. Again, I make it where you can actually make your goals. Here goes some of the terminology that we went over today. That is also in your book. The filing statuses that we went over today. How to determine a qualified dependent, the credit and deductions. So this is what I meant by I've literally given y'all everything that we've done. We're going to do on training already. It's just you have to utilize what I've given to you. These are all the different credits, tax breaks, what a 1040 looks like when it's printed out. And then here go the charts that I was telling y'all about that tells you how much your actual standard deductions are, what you look like with children. Like I literally have given y'all everything, what information you should be asking for, which is in your job form. The different forms. Rental properties, how to look at it, what a W-2 looks like. And these are just if you chose to go into the system and just like try it out, put the information in. Write-offs, how to file a business. And then this is the information you should get for your business, the expenses that you can write off. These are a list of everything that you can be asking them for. Now, keep in mind, I had none of this when I started. So I am trying to start y'all off the best way on the best foot that I can. Because none of this was given to me. This QR code actually does work. It's going to put you onto our marketing strategy, which is a vacation, a discounted vacation, a discounted motel stay. Now the company that I'm geared up with, these are some other resources that you can use. The company that I'm geared up with, we are able to offer them stays at hotels, and all they have to pay is the taxes and fees and put themselves there. Everything else is being paid for. And of course, that's me and my lady. So this is our baby, which is the reason why it's KJ Financial, because my maiden name is King. And our daughters are going to take this over once I decide I just want to work on Taxably Pro. They are actually my tax preparers as well, but they are in different positions come next year because they are going to be our payroll and human resource people. So I am stepping out of taxes soon. So enjoy me while you can, because I won't be here. It'll be one of the girls teaching this class next year. That's the plan. Let's see what else is on here. And this is your demo. So if you need to go in and try to see if you can figure something out by yourself, or just play with a form, utilize your demo. It's going to give you your login and everything else. These are the phone numbers that I had provided you all. Write them down somewhere. And this is your job form templates. So these right here, you're going to fill out all this lovely stuff right here. And each one of these boxes can be opened up and they put the information in for you. All the way down to the acknowledgement that I was telling y'all that I have on here for you. And then their signature along with their spouse's signature. So everything has been done for you. You just have to go in and utilize what I have given you. That's all. But we'll go over some more information week 2. Like I said, I didn't want to make it an 8-week, make it 4 weeks, because I basically have given you everything. It's just you have to take the time to utilize the information that I've provided already. And then just going back and me going over some of the stuff with you. But that is it, young ladies. I am setting y'all free. I know y'all are tired of me. And unless y'all got some more questions for me, y'all are free to go.
No, I think I'm good. But when you're ready to come onto the life insurance side, call me.
I will be there as soon as I get, because I got an entrepreneurship class that I'm currently in, and I'm still in my accounting class. Once I get one of these classes done, because the entrepreneur class, I think I got like 2 more weeks left in that class.
Is it Cornell?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. Once I have that one done, then I can put something else on my plate.
Okay, I got you. I understand, baby. Trust me, I understand.
But I'm coming. I'm not about to give up. I'm coming.
Okay.
Because I definitely want that up under my belt, especially if I'm doing, because you also know, if y'all know, I do credit repair as well. So
yeah, I need to get with you on that.
Yeah, I got a lot on my plate.
Now, no, I'm not with Globe anymore. So
yeah, and congratulations for stepping out on your own.
Yes, I had to go back to it because it was getting on my nerves.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
I can believe it. We'll talk about that on another basis, because there's a reason why I didn't there's a couple of reasons why I didn't go back, but I will share this video with you all as soon as it downloads. Y'all just send me, oh, thanks, Tip. Y'all just go into the group me, give me y'all email just so I can make sure I have it. And I'll send y'all the video. But other than that, y'all ladies are all set, and I'll see y'all next Sunday.
All right. See you next week.
All right, sweetheart. Thanks, ladies.
Have a good one.
You too, baby.